Okay, so one thing is I wanted to say is my eyes are really tired today, so they're really squinty, and it's the lights really bother my eyes. If I could just sit, it's like I feel like I'm becoming a mole. I think it probably has something to do with the problem with my eyes, the stuff going on from the brain injury and the treatments they've done on my eyes. So I've got that, but then also when you're not around the sun hardly, there's not very much sun in my existence, then you start really becoming like a mole. I had read that way before I moved over here, that people over here, it was something about their eyes, I can't remember it all, but it was something about their eyes, and I just remember them talking about it's like a mole, like it gets used to the dark, and then the light really affects it. So anyways, my eyes are really squinty today. I feel like, but one of the things that I wanted to say, so I have a bunch of comments again, and it just always blows my mind how these people, like, they don't know you, they don't know, Stella's in my lab today, they don't know your content or anything like that, and they just go on and start, commenting because it matters what they think and what they say, but they're going to tell you what you think and say doesn't matter, but what they say and think does. So and so many of them want to argue about stuff or demand more evidence, and it's like, you need to go search for your evidence. I'm not here to do that for you. That's not my responsibility. That's not what I'm doing on my channel. That's nothing about that. These people who go on and like, well, you need to show this and you need to get all this stuff. Like, no, I tell you what I find interesting. I tell you the stuff that I've looked into, that I have found to help other people on their journey of what they want to look into. I'm not trying to convince anybody of what I believe. I believe about the healing, and I talk about the healing. I believe in about the aliens and, the truth of our history. And I believe a lot of different things. And you either tune in because you're also somebody who finds that interesting and believes, and you need to find another person out there that makes sense to you in the world. Or, if you don't believe in any of this stuff, like, why would you even be on this channel? Like, and then why wouldn't you just go like, oh, this isn't my person, and move on and find your person? And if you're looking for evidence, that's something that you need to do for yourself. You need to go out and search for your own evidence. You don't start commanding someone to present you evidence to convince you. And this is what it seems like, it's kind of wacky to me, is that so many people, like, they want, it's like there's people whose mind is opening, and they're looking at things differently and stuff. And then you have these people who are so stuck, and it's kind of like the same thing with, oh, this and this. So they need everyone to do it, so theirs will work. It's kind of like that with the information. Like, they need us all to believe what they believe so that they can feel comfort in their life. Like, nobody can go outside of the box. Like, whoa, yeah, reel it in. That's not what science says. That's not what CNN says. Well, you better talk about something different. It's like, give me your evidence. And like I said, like, how many times have I said this on Twitter? Like, when I used to buy into that, give them the evidence, and I used to present evidence. Oh, here's evidence. Here's evidence. And then people, nope, they couldn't even read it. No, they just pushed evidence away. Nobody wanted the evidence. They just would find reasons why they shouldn't listen to the evidence. So it was like, no, your soul is going to lead you in the direction you need to be led. Your soul is going to open up your path, its own self. I'm just, I'm one of the many people out there who has a path that they are holding a light to show people who align with that path. Like, hey, this way, we find each other this direction over here, because this is about, like, my one friend that I talked to, the Australian one, we talk about other lives and stuff like that, of memories that we have and things that come to our head and things that we think we learned from other lives and places that we've lived and what our guides have told us and stuff like that. And, she was talking about this place that she was getting information. She gets it in a whole bunch of different ways, but I think this one, she got a lot of information during the QHHT thing. If you've never had one, they're really interesting. It really will show you something different. Like, it really, some people like go do drugs. Like, I've done mushrooms, and that has been where it does show you this whole other reality. And what was it I was gonna say? Oh, ayahuasca. All the people who go do the ayahuasca. And peyote. Peyote was popular when I was a kid. I never did peyote or mushrooms when I was a kid, but a lot of people did. And back in the 70s. And so the that kind of ayahuasca or something, that opens you up to these other realities. But the QHHT thing also, it connects you to this other reality. So if you don't want to go out and do those heavy experiences, because they're kind of like, everything I always hear about, it seems intense. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I need to go there. I think I'm good without that. But just doing mushrooms, that's fucking intense, I'm telling you. You go into it depends on where your mind is and stuff, and how tight it's, closed. Because mushrooms, I go to a different reality. But anyway, so talking to her, and she was talking about this place that she is from, like, when she got the call to come, because it was a huge call that went out across this whole galaxy, solar system, that Earth was in trouble. And I say it's like a vibration, like she sent out like a holler, a vibration that went out, just like how the dogs, their bark will signal distress. Like Stella could be laying here snoring, sound asleep, and there's a certain bark, that I think of as a distress bark, where she just is like up, and she's just right away signaling back, I hear you, I hear you. Like, it's so interesting to watch these animals communicate when you tune into it. But anyway, so she was talking about the place that she came to, or was from, in this QHHT thing, when she got the call. And, it doesn't have any of the stuff here. And this is what I talk about, too, so much about with, when you start going into stuff about reincarnation, and you read a lot of stuff, like Dolores Cannon's a great place to start. And you start seeing about different lives, then you find out that a lot of other ones, like Earth is a super hard one. And in this stuff where, on initiation, where he has been talking about the development of Earth and how it was seeded and stuff like that. Oh my God, that's scared the shit on me. Hold on. It's always when I'm about to get really serious. See, that was because a dog was walking by. Like, they hear the most smallest sounds out there, and I don't know, they're so tuned in outside. Like, do they even, like, the door restricts them, but in their other senses, none of this stuff restricts them. They just, like, Stella knows when the neighbors come outside. I think she just listens to them in their houses. Like, it's weird, man. Okay, so hold on, I gotta get a drink. Squirted all over. Okay, so let me see if I can get back to what I was talking about. Okay, so in other places, lives aren't as hard. Here, and when he was talking about this in the initiation and stuff too. So here, when you come here, this has pain and suffering and death. You don't have that on other places. Like, there's beings that are alive that were alive at the creation of Earth. Like, there's no death. They're consciousness. And the higher you move up in consciousness, the more you have control of your consciousness. And here, you come here to experience death so that you can, because it's a huge expansion. That's why I said there's so many people here that when you do ascend, you're going to go way up because of your understanding of things. So you can go way beyond, where people say, like, you have 5D. That's not going to be the stop for everybody. No, it's so much of what's in you. So that that is going to we're just you're opening your consciousness to more understanding, because that's what it is. It's more control of your consciousness and more understanding of what everything is. And that is what gives you relief, because you understand your connection. You understand that this isn't real. It feels so real. It feels like everything matters. Oh my God, it's so real. And I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And people get so caught up in the drive. And that's why, we got so caught up in the rat race and stuff. And that's why I always thought it was cool, like about when you go and you travel a lot. I love the island kind of mentality. It is just, so much more laid back and stuff. And I'm really a lot more drawn to that than the, oh, I gotta get there, I gotta be there at that time. I had such a hard time, even, I never wore watches. And I had such a hard time when I started trying to enter as an adult into the thing. I was late to everything all the time. I was constantly in trouble. I'd have doctors stop having me. I had, and once I got my brain injury, it went back to that, like, just time doesn't matter. I don't have any concept of it. So I had a hard time going from a child, where it was just like everything was, you woke up, it was daylight, and the street lights came on, that meant you went home and you went to bed. And when everybody else went in, when someone's mom came out and hollered, it's dinner time, everybody pretty much knew, because everybody ate dinner at the same time. Back in those days, there wasn't all this late dinner thing. Like people eating dinner at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I've had my kids eat dinner like fucking so late at night. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so weird to me. But anyways, so there's a lot that we are expanding our consciousness, going through these experiences. And so this is just the beginning. This ascension is just the beginning of everything opening up for you. So the some of these other planets where they have not had pain and suffering and stuff, they don't understand it. They don't understand a lot of things that we go through on this planet and why it affects us so much. Because even when they go and they send people down here to understand it and they take it back to their planet, they still don't have to deal with emotions. See, we have to get a lot in balance, because we have to deal with emotions and pain and suffering, and they don't have that in other places. So there's a lot of things that we as souls learn from going through that experience. And so where she comes from, she was one of those people who would come here to get information to take back, and she said they're very much high vibration, way up there, but they don't have any understanding of this stuff. So they sent like go down and find out, bring us back the information, and then let's all try and learn and study it so that they can understand it. But the thing is you can't really understand it. And this is what I talk about all the time with about knowledge and growth and stuff like that, because you can't understand it without the experience. You can watch it all day long on a movie. Like we can go in and we can watch a movie, and it can show pain and suffering, and it can make us understand and see it. But when we feel it, when we're the ones going through it, it's a whole nother level. And I don't think that very many people can go through. I think that there's like a limit of what humans, pain and suffering that they can go through in one life. And I think a lot of souls take on a lot. And probably a lot of souls that are kind of arrogant ego, because we see a lot of arrogance and ego going on. A lot of them that come from higher realms that think like, oh, these friggin' earthlings, they're just weak. And then they come in and then they find out pain and suffering is not so fun. And it's hard to get out of the programming and stuff and get in balance with yourself. So it's a lot of stuff to accomplish to get to the point of ascension and enlightenment. So it's it's a huge endeavor. And that's why there's no quick fix in it. It's a process of learning, and in the process, you're learning about yourself. You're expanding yourself, and you can't learn about yourself and expand yourself if you can't even look at your dark side. You have to accept your dark side so that you can expand yourself and be whole. So, and that's getting everything in balance, your masculine, feminine, looking at all of these different aspects of self. And, all of your issues you're having, like your self-hurt, or you eat obsessively, or, you know, you go out and have sex to try and make yourself feel better, you know, all these different things. There's a lot more things that people do to abuse themselves besides drink and do drugs. That there, you know, there's an endless supply of things that people do to abuse themselves. So those, then, you know, you start looking at the things that are the most obvious to you. Is, you know, why would I do this? Why would I do this to myself? Why don't I love myself? What things happened in my life that created this doubt, well, this hatred of myself? And when you start looking at those things, you know, it can be painful at first, but, you know, it's going to take you into a whole new realization and acceptance of yourself that feels just beautiful when you can accept yourself and love yourself. And so these, you know, all of the people that are coming here, what was I going to say? It was, maybe that was all I was going to say about that. I feel like there's a bunch of things I wanted to say because there was something else about the, because the, oh, I hate that when I get stuck like that. I'll just go back to talking about the other, the people who, okay, so when she was telling me about the thing, and I, you know, and I see everything in this other way that people don't see. People don't have my vision, and I don't, you know, and it's hard to explain what you see inside your head. But kind of like, to me, if you thought of, like, I think of the solar system like a body, like I've said before. But like, if you think of it like a tree, and, you know, and everything is that tree and that movement. So if the tree goes up, it's got like the center point, the swirl going up, and then it comes out, and all of the leaves all come out, all of the branches with all of the leaves and all of the more leaves and stuff like that. So that, which is also like in a brain, all of the nerves, all of the thing that goes up, like, you would also look like a tree inside if you were to look at the diagram of how the things were. You would see that same kind of design as a tree because it's micro macro. So if the tree goes up and it comes out and it's got all these branches and leaves, so to me, Earth and other planets, what we think of as other planets and stuff, they're all on different leaves. Some could even share leaves. They could share leaves. Some are on, it could be a whole branch, and all of those leaves are extension of it, and those branches are extension of it. And some of them have an offshoot that goes off in another, and it has more leaves and more branches. All of those are different realities. And so if you went to the leaf of Earth, that leaf that they tell us is a circle, and it's all of that stuff. They're talking about the magnetism of the planet. They're not where it's the globe, it's the magnetism. They're always fucking with words and shit. And it's always to mislead us, and it's always to make us not understand who we are, because all they want is slaves, because we are powerful. And if we don't know who and what we are, and we can be their slaves, then, you know, they are benefiting, and they recycle us. That's the thing. The recycling thing is just like, that is where, you know, hurry and kill them and then bring them back. Hurry and kill them, bring them back, and stuff like that. Get them stuck. And I know it has to do with where, when you go to the other side and you do your life review, because your life review is just you looking at you, and your life review is you seeing you from other people's perspective. And so you experience you from everyone else's experience of interacting with you. And that is where you see, and you can see how you affected them, the whole ancestral line, how you affected that whole pattern of existence in that certain family or whatever. So you see that stuff when you go to your life review. And you, as a soul, you don't need other souls sitting there judging you and telling you and what you need to do. I think that is what they do in this, you know, because they monitor other realms all around this realm. So, and this realm is contained with the firmament and stuff like that, because it is, I said, it's toxic to the whole tree of life. And so that that reality it is kind of like an island. And when you look at an island, it's not just a flat thing that's floating in water like a piece of paper. It's got substance underneath, and our substance underneath is all sorts of realities and all sorts of other beings living there. There's all sorts of realities all around us, and it's all in vibration and stuff like that. Because everything, just like this music and how it's moving, because I have one of those meditation things up, and how the whole thing is moving, and the music, if you just imagine the music, we are that movement. And when we come into these existence, that is, that is phenomenal, that we can pull ourselves into, create a being and be born to come in and experience, that we can come in and help other people expand themselves. It's crazy when you really get into how really mighty and powerful we are, and how, we are what we sat and worshipped as humans forever, as gods. We are that. We are what we were worshiping. We were sitting there right before us the whole time. We just didn't know. Somebody hadn't turned us on. Okay, they're having a fit. Oh, maybe I should end this one right here and then just start back, because oh, maybe I'm just talking about what I wanted to talk about anyways, because I was thinking, well, what's the other thing? But it was about the realms and stuff. So everything is all these different realms. So you have like different leaves, like that come to learn from us, or there's all sorts of ones that come to take people to breed with. It's been, not everybody knows that, but we're being taken and kept in cages as pets, just like what we do with dogs. We're kept as pets in other places because the family finds us funny and cute, I guess. What's really crazy too, because I always was really into the Land of the Giants when I was growing up in Twilight Zone. And Twilight Zone, he was always giving that perspective, the same thing as Land of the Giants. You're only big to yourself. Something big comes in, you all of a sudden find out your size. And something bigger than that can come in, and something bigger than that. It's the micro, macro. We are not at the top of the food chain. We are not that big. And, we could be like a parakeet. And parakeets have their own existence. Like, how dare us think that we can go and cage them? So this is where we're going to really start comprehending, our own self, like what we've been doing. Because, people are okay with like smacking dogs and like, oh yeah, we'll just keep them here as our little amusement. And then, this morning when I started feeding them, and they get so excited, it's like, how fucked. You don't even have control over your own food. You just, it's up to someone else when you eat, when you go out, what you do. And, there's a lot of humans that are living that experience because some are living as pets for people. And some are slaves, and we've got all sorts of sick things going on right here on our own planet. And those people's reality is very different than our reality. Everybody's reality is different. And so we are experiencing our own reality all over the place. There's so many realities. And you can be living in more than one life at one time. And the reason you have to have the veil is so that you can focus on this one and you can be learning. But you as a being, you are a freaking fascinating creature. You are a god. And yeah, we got to quit worshiping things that we already are. And we got to realize and know our own power. And, I'm telling you, to me, whatever other people want to do, like I said, I feel like there's some of us that we have followed a certain path that we were guided to do. And, I was guided. The whole brain injury, all of the stuff that has happened in my life, it was all guided. And it was all a certain path. And I've been told it over and over and over again. And there's multiple of us. Like, I hear people all the time saying the same things as me, only they're saying it in a little different way. So these people understand. So there's all different people that are getting this information, all the same information, but it's coming in just like a different dialect for a soul to understand. And so it is, where everybody is having that kind of expansion of understanding, but it's coming from all different kind of ways. So see, I know what my purpose is of, lighting the path that I've been shown. and about healing and stuff like that. And, so if you go and you listen to someone and they're talking gibberish to you, there's someone out there that's lighting a path that will make sense to you. So everybody is on their own journey, and don't get hung up on coming in and spending and wasting time telling somebody you don't agree with them. Who cares? Who cares if you don't agree with them? Your opinion, it doesn't matter any more than my opinion. This is my own life, and I'm sharing it with who wants to be a part of it. And I'm building community. And if you want to be, you're like a black fly at a picnic when you come in and do stuff like that. Go out and find your people. Go out and find the people that you do align with, so that you can enjoy that. It doesn't make any sense to go in and harass other people and demand and command. You're really stuck in ego and stuff like that. You need to find somebody who lights a path for you to help you get, because this is about reprogramming. We got to reprogram ourselves, deprogram ourselves, because we've been programmed so, it's been such toxic programming and what they've done to humanity. So yeah, this is all about reprogramming and connecting, with the supernatural, what's outside of you, because what they've created is their own little metaverse. I mean, they just want to get you more and more narrowed down. This habitat they created was already completely fake. Then they want to, yeah, it's a little too much. We can't have this many of you guys running around questioning us. Like, just put on the glasses. And I mean, how far will they go to just control you in every aspect of your existence? It's like, but you've got to have the inner calling in your soul to want to pull free from that system, to want freedom as a soul, to go out and figure yourself out. And it is kind of like entering the abyss at first, and there is a lot of stuff that you have to face about yourself to really get into balance and to heal. And it's hard, but you can get through it. I got through it, and that's what I think. We're all here to help each other. And so just even in comments and stuff, if you are struggling, comment and say stuff. And one thing I've seen on TikTok is there's so much communication. There's so many people who want to talk, and they just get to talking and they just start having whole conversations. I think some of these conversations go on for days. So yeah, just start reaching out, and you'll find people who see things like you do, and it's makes you feel a lot better. So, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.